Calling Attack on Titan's distinct art style and its dreamlike colors, bold lighting choices, and uncanny creature designs magnificent is simply an understatement. I've set out to find what makes the Titan's design so unique and captivating, yet terrifying all the same. The intention? To replicate it myself in 4 different Titan designs. Studio Wit for 3 of them, and Studio Mappa for the last one. This would take research like Hajime Isayama's inspiration when designing the creatures and the animation studio's character model sheets. So what makes these designs so unique? There are a few main differences between Wit and Mappa's rendering style. With Studio Wit, the distinct art style could be characterized by these 4 things. Bad build proportions, varied line weight, 3 but sometimes 4 values, and the skin texture. Let me elucidate for you. Bad build proportions. The Titans are monstrous in scale, but what is terrifying about them is their proportions. Their mouths with a million teeth, bulging eyes, skinny limbs that shouldn't support their weight is what makes them truly unsettling. So it should be fun to play with the scale and the extremities and the torsos and faces. Now, when I say varied line weight, the outline of the characters in uniform are the same thickness all around. Rather, in some spots it's thin and in others it's thicker. This creates visual interest and can apply shadows in certain spots. Values. I noticed they use at least 3 to 4 values at any given time. It really depends on how close up of a shot we're dealing with. When viewed from afar, you're lucky to see 1 to 2 values. This is because, like in real life, the further away something is, the less detailed it'll appear, and vice versa. Now, this isn't exact science, as sometimes there'll be 3 values, but there'll be gradients and midtones mixed in. Skin texture. This goes hand in hand with the last point, but it's very subtle. This web-like texture on the skin resembles the veins under the surface, shown through subsurface scattering. I have no clue what in-house texture Wit Studio used, but I did my best to replicate it with a simple water PNG overlaid with a subtract blending mode. Mappa's art style uses a uniform line weight on the outline and the inside. Secondly, Mappa mainly uses 2 tones, a mid-tone and a shadow, and very rarely a small highlight such as on the hair. The colors are less dreamlike and more realistic to match the tone shift of the season. The more simple rendering system of 2 tones make things appear less detailed. To make up for the simple tones, they utilize hatching to imply form. This more closely resembles Isayama's art style in the manga, which is more sketchy. Lastly, the proportions of the Titans are less exaggerated. The faces will have exaggerated features almost like a caricature. Other than that, you may get a pudgy body here and a big head there, but nothing as eye-catching as the previous Wit season. So for this first Titan, you may or may not be able to guess who this one was based off of. I just wanted to have fun and play with the proportions like I was talking about earlier. Give them extremely long arms, really skinny limbs, but I wanted to exaggerate the musculature and make them really ripped. Getting the hands positioned how I want them. So here I'm just sketching out the details, getting the face in. Not showing up here, but I was mirroring it to make sure everything was proportional. There's the face of the person. And here I'm just getting the basic shadows down, and then I'm just gonna add those in a multiply blending mode, and then they'll appear soon right there. Here I'm just adding the shadows, sculpting the form out, getting the musculature down, getting those muscles in. There's the fingers, or the hands, and the muscles of the legs. And now I'm just doing the line art, trying to vary it up, not keep it too uniform because this is Wit's art style. So here I'm just going over, adding thickness in some spots, using the lasso tool, using the pen tool, and just, sculpting it out. Getting those pecs down. Serratus interior, all that jazz. Rectus abdominis. These are a little crooked, so I had to fix those there. Just adding some little details here and there, making the lines thinner. And then here I'm just getting the face down. You may or may not be able to guess who this is, I don't know. I want to give them really, really caricaturized features and a billion teeth like I was mentioning earlier. So I'm giving them a weird expression, keeping things symmetrical. Then now I'm just adding the last little finishing touches on the eyes and the mouth. And here's that first Titan in all its glory. Oh, just kidding. Gotta add the highlights because that's something they use 3 to 4 values. Now I'm just overlaying that water PNG I was mentioning earlier to give it some more texture that Wit is known for. and adding that subtract blend mode, and it should be done right about now. And here it is in all its glory. Just kidding. Just doing some final finishing touches, some blending here and there, and here it is in all its final glory, desaturated and all. So here we have the Lewis Carroll Titan. This is, strangely enough, the one I ended up being the most proud of. I went with a more simple rendering style because recreating Wit's art style is a little hard, I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like this Titan gets the proportions right, his goofy expression. And here I'm just getting the lighting down, using two tones. So this would be a Titan viewed from a little bit away, not too close, not too far. I'm just doing the line art. Like I said, their line weight varies in places. It's more visually interesting as opposed to just uniform. Just getting the musculature down, helps to know anatomy. Here I'm just getting his facial expression down. I'm touching up some details here and there, like with the hair, adding the bags under the eyes. Sometimes the Titans will do weird stuff like point or hop around or smack each other around. For him, I wanted to give him a goofy gesture of him playing with his fingers. Here we got his toes. Not good at drawing feet. It's low-key one of my weak points, so we don't really need to dwell on that too much. Adding the highlights in the hair and on the outside of the skin. And here I'm just overlaying the water texture as described before, and subtract blend mode. This next Titan I based off of a US president. You could probably guess which one. I drew it on paper and then brought it into Clip Studio. And here I'm just doing the line art, making sure his face is looking decent. Adding in some facial hair because sometimes the Titans would have facial hair. I want to give him a really demented smile because some of the Titans would have this creepy smile, and this president's smile was rather iconic, so I think it just fit hand in hand. Giving him a million teeth, adding bags under his eyes, and a crazy expression, really make him scary. And then just warping the hair a little bit to make it more symmetrical. Then we're just adding some shading, lighting from above and to the right, because I'm making sure it's not mirrored, but yes, the lighting is from the right. Here I'm just adding it, touching up in places, blending it to make it more smooth, because sometimes there is a painterly gradient over the skin in the original 3 seasons. Then just adding in some detail like the outlines of his ribs, adding that web-like texture over, and there we have it, making them desaturated. I think this one turned out pretty good. Lastly, we have a Titan in the art style of Mappa. I wanted this one to be a woman because all the other ones were dudes, so I said, oh, let's mix it up a little bit. And I unintentionally ended up making a Titan that ended up resembling a specific Titan in Attack on Titan. You probably know who. So I said, okay, let's give him a different hairstyle because damn near the hairstyle, the face is damn near the same. So let's damn near fix it, damn near. Just adding the line art. Try to keep it uniform because Mappa doesn't vary their line weight. The way to get detail across is, again, like I said, by hatching, which does resemble the manga art style more. Trying to get that creepy expression, and here you have the last Titan in the Mappa art style. So this was a lot of fun replicating art style of my favorite anime. I think most of the Titans turned out pretty decent. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something new, why not give a video a like, maybe even subscribe. We're on the road to 4 billion subscribers or 100, whichever comes first. I hope you enjoyed the first video on my channel. I plan on doing a lot more art related videos and tutorials, so if that's up your alley, stay tuned for more.